Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. This one is entitled Survey Says. No, it doesn't have anything to do with Family Feud. It has to do with Tiny Middle. At some point when I was in the shop, I can't give you a date. We'll say 2013. Somewhere in that neck of the woods. Could have been 2014, could have been 2015, but I think that's a little late in the game. Around 2014 seems about right to me. They started doing this. Now, you've seen this in many stores you go to. You get your receipt, take our survey, win a $100 gift card that nobody ever wins, or you could do that for fast food places, get a free Whopper, something like that. Or they have different deals and stuff like that. A lot of the fast food joints do that, or at least they used to. I don't really frequent those places, so they may have gotten rid of that as well in this day and age. Anyways, long and short of the story is Tiny Middle decided that they were going to have these customer satisfaction surveys. Now, we used to have these things called customer comment cards, which were given. This was in the old days when your receipt was not a thermally printed, slip. It was a full-size 8.5 sheet of paper printed on a dot matrix printer that said Tiny Middle on the background, like watermarked in it and stuff like that, or it had the title at the top of it and stuff, and then it would print our address and phone number and stuff like that. And it was a form, and it would print that, and then it had a column for quantity, SKU number, item, price, extended price, which is price times quantity, and then, subtotal, tax, total, all that kind of stuff. So it had fields for that. You had to make sure the printer was lined up. And they got it pretty dialed in if you knew what you were doing. But most people just would crank the handle on the side of the old dot matrix printer. So it was often maligned. But you got the general gist of it. And we had these nice plastic bags until they went to these cheaper ones. I don't know if they're still allowed to give those out anymore. Since, at least here in New York, because of the plastic bag ban that we have, where, like grocery stores, the plastic bags we used to have there, they couldn't give those out. There are still exceptions, like some restaurants still have them and use them, and some grocery stores still get away with it. They might charge you 10 cents for it, but, whatever it is that they were doing for a while, I don't know. So I don't know if they still have them, but we used to have these really nice ones. They had these white and blue striped things, and it said Tiny Middle on it, and it was this nice bag. The handles were reinforced. There were, about 3 different sizes of them. They were really handy, and I would get stuff, and if I would buy something, I would asked the cashier to give me one of the big ones, because I used to, before I moved out of my parents' house, I used to kind of camp out half there and half at the apartment that the wife and I had, depending, because she worked nights then, so if she weren't there, well, I didn't really have a need to be there, if you know what I mean. So at the time, it was convenient. My parents were okay with that, so I would just use these Tiny Middle bags to do that. And it was funny because the cat we had at my parents' house, who was named Nietzsche, don't ask questions, that Nietzsche, yeah, Nietzsche, so however you spell his name, that guy, the philosopher or something. Anyway, I called him Monkey. That was my name for that cat. And Monkey was adorable in that. One of the things he loved was to chew on these plastic bags with the reinforced handles. He loved the plastic in that, and he would just put all of these cat chew marks in there, and he'd find it when I'd hang out there, and he'd chew the shit out of them. Then I'd be carrying this from the car into the apartment and the handle would just break out and the whole bag would fall. I just had clothes and stuff in it, so it wasn't a big deal, but still, it was just that. Yeah, I could have had a backpack or something else, but that was just what I used. It was handy, it was free, and I could always get more of them. But in there, they had this pamphlet that said, you know, what was date and time your visit, all the questions you get on a survey. One day they got rid of those things, and then it kind of fell by the wayside, and then they decided that they were going to reinstate these surveys because that, for some reason, at this point in time, all of the retailers were like, we value your feedback. Take our survey. You know, and then they would give you these bogus prizes that you didn't really end up getting anything, or it didn't really cost them anything, or stuff like that. And you never find out whoever wins these contests, if it were something like that. You know, we're giving away $500 gift card. Yeah, whoever wins it, where is it published? If you call headquarters, sorry, there's a little fly. If you call headquarters, are they going to tell you that? Oh, we can't divulge that information to you. We can't give you their names. That's identity. You know, we have to protect their identity. So that means you're hiding the truth. Anyway, these became an online thing. Well, it so turns out that Tiny Middle decided to really push for these surveys for the shop. And they really, really wanted you to take these surveys. And they told the people at the counter to tell customers who were coming in to pick their computers up to take our survey. And they went so far as to set up a PC right off to the side in an area we had that was called triage, where we used to have a tech come out and do a quick look at somebody's computer and kind of get an idea for what's wrong with it, and tell them we'll have to do a formal estimate, but it looks like you have a bad hard drive, and that might cost you $150. I'm making up numbers here, I don't know. You know, depending on what exactly it was, you know, something like that. We used to do that. Or if a customer brought something back for return, we had to check it out and make sure everything was included in the box and stuff like that. So they set this PC up over there. And that was linked, like the homepage on the browser was our intranet for that particular thing for the survey. And they ran a contest for the shop with the greatest number of surveys would get like free lunch or something like that. So because it was a contest or something like that, and they might have even had a gift card for us in the shop or something, it might have been like $50 or something like that. I won because I won awards for my customer service there over the years. I have plaques that they gave me for winning. I once won third place in the entire company, not just the store I was in. We had like 20 to 25 stores nationwide. Out of the entire company, I won like third place one year, and I won second place another year for customer service. I knew how to deal with people. My manager didn't. So when I'd work on their computers, you know, the job wasn't done until I was satisfied it was done, and it takes a lot to satisfy me. So if I was satisfied, well, the customer who just basically knows nothing typically would be. So they wanted my surveys, certainly, because it's good. They want to see these numbers high. They want to see that we're doing good, and somehow that gives brownie points to somewhere, somebody, something. And whatever this contest and shit was, I don't know, but I said, well, if they're having the cashier tell the customer, a lot of times the cashiers can't find the computer, even though it's right there on the shelf that it's designated on. And when they got the work order out of the drawer, which was filed under the customer's last name, or looked it up, well, it was really in the drawer because we had no way of putting it in the system, or it was too cumbersome to find in the system. So basically, if they're computer went on shelf 5, and I think that was mainly because there was room on that shelf, is really what it went down to. We would put a big 5 on the work order and circle it. So when the cashier went, they would look up John Smith, find his paperwork, and see that his computer is a Dell and it's on shelf 5. And they'd go over there and there'd be a sticker, an asset tag on the machine that we put on there. When it was checked in, it would say John Smith, Dell computer, blah, 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 and have the work order number, which could be matched against that. But the cashiers, the EOE and the dark blouses, and you know what I'm talking about, didn't work all that well. Or they couldn't find the thing because they didn't know that Smith would be under S, because they're looking at the J for John, even though it's S for Smith. We don't have an abundance of brain cells to rub together here. So then I had to get involved because my name was on the work order. So they would say, Jason, where's John Smith's machine? I said, it's on shelf 5. Oh, I didn't see it there. Okay, so I'd get up and I go out there and I go, there it is, shelf 5, John Smith. Oh man, why didn't I see that? I looked through that shelf. I don't understand. Oh, that's really strange, man. Thank you, If they'd even say thank you. I said, oh, well, I'll go out with you. I'll say hello to the customer. What could be bad? The customer approved the repairs, or it was under warranty or extended warranty. The machine is fixed to my fucking standards. I know it's definitely working well. I know it ain't coming back, and I know I fixed it properly. Why not go out and shake hands with the customer and say thanks so much for coming in. It was a pleasure working with you. Oh, would you, if you have a minute, would you mind filling out our survey? Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess. I said, oh, we have a computer right here. You could do it right here. I'll get it set up for you. Well, we did that, and what ended up happening was customers they didn't know how to use their computer, or any computer. So I got frustrated. I couldn't show my frustration. But they would click on the answer to the first question, and they're like, okay. I said, oh, you got to click next at the bottom. Where's next? Oh, at the bottom there on the right. The arrow that says next. And then they have to find the mouse pointer on the screen and get down there, and they're like, they're like, they don't understand the questions, and just they were brain dead. So I decided I would help them out by taking my customer service to the next level. I would say, if you'd like, I can fill this out for you, but of course, you can see the screen and verify that the answer that you choose is the one I select. They're not going to tell me that I did a shitty job and I marked down I did a good job. I'm honest. I wouldn't do that. And what if they notice? Then I'm in real deep shit. Not that they necessarily would, but I don't want to take those kind of chances. So I said, here, I'll fill it out for you. How was your service today? Excellent, very good, good, fair, or poor? Excellent. Okay, next question. Was your technician, that's me, courteous on the telephone? Yes or no, or, the varying 5 steps of it, or something like that. And we wanted all 5s on the survey, basically, all the best you can get, of course. So I'm getting these surveys rolling in hand over fist because of exemplary customer service. Well, wouldn't you know I got busted? How? There's a camera in this triage area, and it was watching me. Allegedly, our main headquarters had access to this shit. I don't think so. But anyway, somebody was watching or something. I don't know. And they saw me filling out this survey for the customer. Now, these cameras did not record audio. That was their setup. That's just too bad on them. Not that it would necessarily capture, because it's at one end and this was kind of a corridor and I was at the other end, so it wouldn't really pick that up, and they weren't smart enough to put another camera there. They flew somebody in from our main headquarters and took me in the office. And they said, we can't allow you to do that, and we have to invalidate your winning, because we don't know if you're falsifying information, and that's dishonest, and this and that. And they were like getting into all these reprimandations or something like that. Well, as it turns out, the general manager of the store, not even Pat, my boss, he was involved also, and he was also in agreement with this, as was the general manager, that there was no foul play involved whatsoever. And in fact, Pat had stood there while I have done a few of those, and he could definitely vouch for the fact that what the customer says is what I marked down. And basically, these two managers stuck up for me and fought for me, and actually told them, no, if you can't understand that this man is providing beyond excellent customer service for our customers, then we have a real problem here. And main headquarters packed up and flew back home. But they literally did fly somebody out to investigate this shit. And she even stood there and watched me as I did this. And there was absolutely no foul play involved. But that was like the one time that the managers stuck up for me. God forbid that you fucking go over and above and beyond in doing your job working at this fucking store, and this was the kind of treatment that I fucking got. That was unreal. Of course, like I said, it blew over. I won the gift card or whatever. We got lunch for the shop, the whole nine, and stuff like that. And it was even a little competition between us techs in the shop. Like, oh, I just got another survey. What are you up to? I got 37. Oh, I'm at 35. You got to catch up, man. So a little friendly competition like that. We didn't bet on it or anything like stupid like that, but it was just kind of a little thing, like, oh, I want to beat you. I want to get that $50, It was only a gift card to the store, but still, hey, you could do a little damage, buy some ink for your printer or something, Anyway, that was kind of the deal, but shit. Talk about that. I mean, going above and beyond. Now, I get where the main headquarters were coming from, but this was really their own fault. Like, we had the technology to put another camera there that could record audio if you wanted to watch this. And eventually, basically what they said was, okay, we get your point, we'll let everything stay, you win, but we're getting rid of this computer. Customers will now have to do it at home. Which, basically, they ended up fucking themselves. So I guess I got the upper hand because I taught them a lesson, and they had to learn it the hard way, that going above and beyond was beyond their morals or something like that, and that's going to end up hurting them. So whatever happened with the surveys, I don't know. We never had another contest after that, I could tell you that. But yeah, that was the kind of treatment I had there. So yeah, again, from this dream I had about the fucking place last night, from the PTSD of it so many years later, it's back. And like I said, I got a number of stories, and I got one more, and that'll be in the next installment of Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.